We'll start here. I think it's a bunch of stuff in the middle. So let's go in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yes, good afternoon and welcome. It's the Suzette's Big Show here on Voice of the Caribbean Radio. Wagwan, wagwan. It is a fire Friday. We feeling the vibes. It's hot up here in Miami, throughout the listening area. Listen, 95 they say, y'all. So make sure you are hydrated, but it is beautiful. We give thanks for life. I'm excited because I have a special guest in the studio. This is like really weird. My YouTube looks a little janky, but I'm gonna fix it. Shout out to everybody on the YouTube side. Shout out to everybody who's watching on our social media pages. There we go. voiceofthecaribbean.com. Whether you have the app, make sure you download it. Take us wherever you go. Voice of the Caribbean is in your app store. Whether you have Google Play or you have, like me, the Android. Yeah, shout out to everybody with the Google Play, Apple Store as well. The other one I meant to say. But yeah, download it. Take it wherever you go. We have a big app community growing strong. But without further ado, I told you yesterday I have a special guest that will be joining me. And she's here in living color, and I'm so grateful that she will be with us for the next 4 Fridays. Yeah, she's coming in as a special correspondent, guest hostess. She's a college student, y'all, and sometimes when you make the ask, we made a connection this week, and she was like, guess what? I really enjoy, watching you and what you do, and kind of want to explore it more. And I'm like, great, here you go, come on in. And she thought, oh, I thought there was going to be more of a, processor things, and nope. I said, come right over. Intern with me, see what we do here at Voice of the Caribbean. So I'm so grateful that she said yes, and she's with us today. Let's give it up for Miss Lexi Sayers. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm feeling great today. I'm feeling very, very grateful. I mean, like Suzette had mentioned, I thought there was going to be a whole process in between, but here we are, and it feels almost surreal to be in this room right now. But thank you guys all for tuning in. My name is Lexi Sayers. I am a rising senior in college. I'm studying government and cinema media studies. And, I just have a passion for radio. I have a passion for music. I have a passion for culture. And it is a pleasure to be here today with Miss Suzette.
Hey.
Literally just met her and we almost clicked instantly. So very grateful to be here. I'm very excited to be here for the rest of August.
Yeah, so she's here. We're putting in her work, y'all. This is what we do. So if you have young people who are interested in communications, in community engagement, because that's a lot of what we do here, we want to hear from them. We have a robust intern program, so make sure you contact us here, 850-446-0562. Okay, we're going to make this a hot topic Friday as we do. If you're new here, welcome. It's the Suzette Speak Show. I am an attorney by training, but I love even more giving my opinion on hot topics and news, right? I try to give you news you can use, what's happening in these social media streets. Yes, we could talk about Usher. Y'all saw Usher dancing with these women on stage? I don't know. Usher. And I grew up. I'm an old school Usher fan, okay? USHER. Listen, I'm talking about Usher raised me, okay? Anybody who don't know Usher, right? You should, right? Is international pop, I would call him, and R&B phenom. Who started out, actually he has the South Florida ties from down here.
He does have South Florida ties.
And has grown into this international superstar. But yeah, he invited this young lady up on stage. Guys, I don't even want to talk about it because sometimes you get a little distracted with some of these stories, but they're fun. But she came up there, and I don't know what her issue, well, she said it. She had a whole social media rant about it, but it also made her look a little weird, and we want to make sure that, we respect people's boundaries. I think Usher was a little surprised, but if you get into the VIP for free, if they upgrade you to the VIP, if them upgrade you and give you all these perks and then say come on stage, it is your opportunity then to say no.
Yeah.
But you ended up on the stage, on the bed, on the settee, on the mattress,
on the mattress.
And you're looking around like, why is Usher in my face? Ma'am, it is your choice to be. Anyway, we're gonna put a pin in that, but welcome. It is voting time. The time is now 1:10 actually here in the city. But it is time to vote. As I told you yesterday, vote by mail. Voting is actually happening already, right?
It's happening right now, guys.
People have their vote by mail ballots, also known as absentee ballots, already. So if you have not ordered yours, make sure to go on your county's Supervisor of Elections website. So whether you're in our listening area from Monroe County, or Miami-Dade, Broward, all the way up, right up Palm Beach, you go on your Supervisor of Elections office website and put in your name. They have a whole section. Just look for request a vote by mail. We need to do that every single year now. Remember, the Florida law changed. There's no longer rolling over from year to year. So you have to make sure you request your vote by mail now. The big day is when?
Tuesday, everyone.
August
Tuesday.
18th is the big day, but voting takes place leading up to the big primary election. So don't wait till Tuesday. We know things can happen. You have to work late. Your kid is sick. You have to drop off.
Rain, weather.
What? South Florida, you know we don't like to go. Oh, it's raining. It's raining. We don't want to go. We don't want to go. Voting this election is so important. So we want to remind you to get your vote by mail ballot, or if you're going to do early voting, you can do that too. But don't wait till the midterm. Don't wait till election day, August 18th, right? We have a lot of time. Well, not that much time. It's the 31st. Well, I want Lexi to give us some news rundowns. Yes, I told her, hey, this will be trial by fire today.
Yes,
and,
yes.
As you
and
know,
here we are.
Yes. As we come in, we like to kind of get a feel for, what matters to us in terms of news, right? I always tell you that I look up stories, and what resonates to me typically resonates with our listeners. So I always try to get a kind of feel for, how did this make me react? And I had a couple stories on my plate, and she has a couple, and I wanted to also, before we go, to give us her opinion on the event we were both at last Monday. This week Monday was the Congressional District 24 and 25 political forum at the Ebenezer Baptist Church, brought to you by the Democratic Black Caucus of both Miami-Dade and the Democratic Black Caucus of Broward County. It was a joint venture where they wanted to bring the candidates from 3 crucial races that impact parts of Broward and the majority of Miami-Dade County. And we heard from the candidates directly, and she was in the building, right?
And I was in the building.
What did you think?
I was in the room where it happened.
Yes. It was so good. Not because I'm moderator, I'm going to say that, but I'm going to tell you.
Listen.
The engagement that we had, what do you think?
Listen, first of all, props to you for handling and moderating that event so eloquently. I couldn't have done it any better. I don't think anyone else could have.
Oh, you're so sweet. You don't have to.
Listen, no, I have to say it because it was very honest. That's why I felt, called to speak to you after as well. But in the room, questions on questions on questions. I mean, so many questions. Listen, the candidates said what they said. They meant what they said. And I do have my personal opinions on,
We're going to get your reaction. Okay,
Listen.
Save it first. Let's get to some hot topics now. Is 114 in the Magic City. Yes, so we're going to talk about, I have on my plate the Nolan Wells case. As you know, and as I talked about it yesterday, this case has been a very big touchstone across the country and even internationally. People are really, really paying attention. So we want to get an update on what's the latest from Nolan Wells. I also wanted to play a short clip from Miss Nancy Grace. She's the career prosecutor who has also been within the investigative journalism space as an attorney, as someone who's a victim rights advocate. Well, Miss Nancy has put her name into this story because she has become quite an advocate for the family, and knowing that this is something that is about finding the truth and not necessarily taking a side, because we don't know what happened. We don't know if anybody is guilty of anything. There could be negligence involved. Putting on my lawyer hat, there could actually have been a crime too. We don't know, but we are trying to keep this story in the forefront. And if you have information, you can call 1-866-888-0344, right? So you want to make sure you are making sure we stay on top of the story. Speaking of which, I'm going to go to Miss Lexi. Lexi, tell us what you know about the Nolan Wells story. What's the latest?
All right, so I have a bit of a rundown really quickly. So on July 4th of July, 18-year-old Nolan Wells headed out for a day of celebration in Mississippi's Horn Island, and he was with a group of his friends. So by the end of the evening, the boat went back to the mainland, but Nolan wasn't on the boat. His friends claimed that the boat malfunctioned and that Nolan voluntarily decided to stay back and continue speaking to a girl he was speaking with. Listen, after that, suspicion immediately flared when his family realized that Nolan's cell phone and his keys were brought back to the mainland, and that kind of started the frantic search for this teen. because his parents realized, hey, he doesn't have his phone, he doesn't have his keys, he is not back. It was a whole big thing. They started a search party, and following that search party, on August 6th, U.S. park rangers discovered his body in the water, and it turned into a huge, high-profile missing persons case, and it's been all over social media. Allegedly, local authorities have been saying that it could have been a drowning incident, that he could have just not been able to swim. But upon further investigation, the family did a private autopsy, which revealed that there was a head injury to Nolan. So this and so many more questions. What happened in between? Who was called? Who was he with? More importantly, because I think that's where the case really becomes this huge social media kind of blow up, because there's a racial dimension to it as well. Nolan was the only friend in that group that was a black man.
Absolutely.
So how does that come in too?
Wonderful rundown, Miss Lexi. Listen, she came in. Oh, I'm a little nervous. I said, stop it. You're not nervous. This is natural. Listen, when we are communicators, we communicate. That's why somebody named Suzette speaks. And I know Miss Lexi also from her major studies. She's a senior, rising senior, and she's spending some time with us here as an intern at Voice of the Caribbean Radio. You can see her if you're online or if you are on my YouTube. Follow me, Suzette Speaks on YouTube. We are putting her to work for the next month. We will have her in studio on Fridays, giving us some news, some opinion, and of course getting a little bit of the insider view of the business. Yay! Yes, so if you have again a college student or someone who is interested, actually let me give you the office line. And we have an intern program even throughout the fall. So she's here with us through summer. So if you have a college student who wants to come in and check us out, right? Put them to work and let them see how the radio industry is evolving, let me tell you. And I'm grateful again that she was brave enough. She just kind of stepped up and was like, hey, I want to come in. Oh, sure. Let's see what you got. So saw her resume, and so Jamaican, so bright. Yeah. And so outgoing personality. You know what we have to say. So bright. And we were like, yes, we want to make sure, especially our young people who are motivated and want to try a thing, we want to open the doors for them. We don't want to close them, right? So if you have a young person, or if you are a college student or know a college student that's interested in interning, we're taking interns, right? Call us at the office, 954-999-0070. All right, that's direct office line, internship program here at Voice of the Caribbean, 954-999-0070. This is the Suzette Speak Show. The time is now 1:19. Thank you for listening. We have hot topics that we're going to discuss. Yes, we have been watching the fires that have been happening throughout Europe. Our hearts and minds are with our brothers and sisters in France, right? The Bordeaux region and the surrounding areas. There are villages that I see reporting from the village of Laporte, where the wildfire devastation is still ongoing. 183 houses have been destroyed, according to NBC6. This is a hard hit in the Bordeaux region, again, of France. And so we are international people. We look around and see what's happening. Remember that Tour de France had to be rerouted because of the fires that are happening in France. And I was telling people I just came back from a European vacation. Yeah. I had a cruise where I visited Italy and Spain and France. So thankfully, we were able to go and come back. We weren't really impacted, but now we're seeing the temperatures are causing the fires to remain strong in the Bordeaux region of France. So we're thinking about our fellow citizens of this world. Something is always happening to someone somewhere, so be thankful. And we are here appreciating also our very warm weather. Well, no fire. Well, actually, we did have one fire, I think, at the West I-75, close to Alligator Alley. But other than that, we are very fortunate that we don't see the same devastation as they're seeing across the ocean there in France. So I wanted to continue with hot topics. What are your thoughts on the Nolan Wells case? Actually, let me play a little bit of what is causing the most controversy in the Nolan Wells case. This will be a clip from the Nancy Grace show. As I told you, Nancy Grace, career prosecutor, and one of those fighters on what is happening to Nolan Wells and just getting back to, or what has happened to him. young man lost his life July 4th weekend after boating with a so-called, my opinion, group of friends. And as we discussed, we just want to remind you here on Voice of the Caribbean Radio that the opinions expressed during the Suzette Speak Show are that of the host and our guest here and our callers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you that number if you have an opinion on the Nolan Wells case. If you have an opinion, listen, my YouTube people getting the worst view of me today. I'm trying to make it look good, but I can't. Hey guys, I know I'm blocking myself, but hey, welcome if you're watching on YouTube. Follow me, Suzette, 1Z, 2T's. Suzette Speaks with an S on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook. Follow Voice of the Caribbean as well. We have a lot of events coming up. It is the Jamaican diaspora's Emancipendence. What does that mean? Emancipation Day as well as Independence Day. Jamaica's celebration of independence will be coming up within the next week. So next week we'll have some list of events where people can go. I know the city of Miramar is putting on a big old time fair. I think Mayor Wayne Messam is actually running ads right now here on Voice of the Caribbean, telling you more about that fair. I know in the city of Lauderhill they have a big concert also with, I think, Marcia Griffith and Beanie Man as well. And we'll get you those dates. I want to also let you know that Voice of the Caribbean is also sponsoring the Buju Too Bad album release signing. That's coming up next week, Saturday. That's August 8th at 3 p.m. at VP Records Miramar, the Florida retail distribution store of VP Records at 6022 Southwest 21st Street, Miramar. Reserve a spot now. You can register at Eventbrite. Just look up Buju Too Bad, Buju Too Bad. You can look it up on Eventbrite for this album signing, the one and only Gargamel. Yes, we love Buju. I went to the concert, y'all. Y'all remember? If you were in Tamarack, everybody and their grandma was in Tamarack when he came for Caribbean American Heritage Month. But he's back, y'all, with an amazing, amazing album. We can't wait for this. The long-awaited arrival, Too Bad, the album by Buju Banton. Album signing once again Saturday next week, August 8th. At 3 p.m. at VP Records. That's their distribution location in Miramar, 6022 Southwest 21st Street, Miramar, Florida. Reserve a spot to get your album signed and to take a photo. Yes, I would like, me never get my photo when he come down, when he did his wonderful tribute concert during Caribbean American Heritage Month. Yard on the Lawn, big up city of Tamarack. But we are excited that he's back with this brand new project again. Buju, the album is called Too Bad, right? Register on Eventbrite. Just look up Buju Too Bad Florida album signing. You can look it up on Eventbrite. Also wanted to tell you about Emancipation Day, Freedom Day, a celebration that we are also sponsoring today. Yes, if you are available, well, listen, it's right after my show. Go and check out at the African American Research Library. Yes, that's that library, the big library in Fort Lauderdale, Sistrunk Boulevard. You guys know it. The African American Research Library and Cultural Center today has a program presented by Ingrid Roberts, the honorable co-chair, alongside the one and only Broward County Commissioner Hazel Rogers, District 9. A celebration called Emancipation Day, Freedom Across the Caribbean. This is the Juneteenth connection, and I love programs like this that are connecting our histories from the Caribbean, our history in the United States, and how there's so much overlap in our experience. And we have two special presenters, Dr. Tamika Bradley, she's the regional manager for the African American Research Library, and co-hosted by Khalib, shout out Khalib Thompson, Executive Director of Island Space. We are so excited, and we want to make sure you know today. Oh, actually, what I said today? Sorry, it's Saturday, August 1st. Tomorrow. I was thinking it's today. Sorry, it's tomorrow, August 1st. This is a public forum, Emancipation Day, free event at the African American Research Library. That's tomorrow, August 1st, called Emancipation Day, Freedom Across the Caribbean, the Juneteenth Connection. Look for it tomorrow at the African American Research Library. Listen, we have so many events. Old Time Fair coming up. So tomorrow, like I said, Mayor Wayne Messam, Emancipendence, man. I think I got a ticket for this actually. Saturday, August 1st at the amphitheater at Miramar. Live music, entertainment, cultural showcase, and Coronation Farmers Market celebration. So we're so excited. Kimani Marley, Louis Culture, Warrior Love Band, DJ Billy Slaughter, and much more, brought to you by City of Miramar, the Jamaican Emancipendence. Let me get it right. Jamaica Emancipendence Old Time Fair hosted by Mayor Wayne Messam. We're so excited to have them. Whoa, mouthful, Miss Lexi. Yes, mouthful. So we got to keep the city informed. That's a part of what we do here at Voice of the Caribbean. We want to make sure you know what is happening across the community. So as I told you, this is a very special time for the Jamaican diaspora that we serve here. We also have an issue that I'm going to probably bring up next Thursday when I'm here. Listen, I got to get my days of the week right. Next Thursday. So the big events I just told you about are happening tomorrow. That is the Freedom Day at the Sistrunk Library. Freedom Day from 1 to 5 at the Sistrunk Library. Very interested in history. If you want to bring the kids to teach them about history, of how, again, our struggles in the Caribbean are reflected also in the African American community here in the United States. There are many overlaps, similarities. People used to go between New Orleans, Haiti, Jamaica, all over, right? So sometimes when we hear Black history, sometimes we only know maybe one version, right, from one part of the culture. But it's important to learn about other people and other connections throughout history. And this cultural presentation, Emancipation Day, Freedom Across the Caribbean, the Juneteenth Connection, happens tomorrow, August 1st. Tomorrow, August 1st. Can you believe it's August already?
Already August. Listen, I blinked my eyes, and here we are.
I'm like, okay, so August 1st, again, Trinidad and Tobago Emancipation Group of Florida is also a sponsor of that. So I'm really excited for them. That's Island Space, the Smart Corp, Kane Radio, Broward County Library System, Trinidad and Tobago Emancipation Group of Florida, and I see some Jamaican diaspora mixed up in there, but yeah, that's tomorrow, free event, African American Research Library, have to do with the Juneteenth Connection, youth activities, cultural presentations, again, at the African American Research Library tomorrow from 1 to 5, and then afterwards, come join us at the Old Time Fair. I'll be there for sure, which is at Miramar Amphitheater, Jamaica Emancipendence. Mayor Wayne Messam, yeah man, we are really excited about all the events coming up, and then the Buju next week album signing. So before we take our first break, I want to thank our new intern, Miss Lexi. She's going to stick around with us for the second half. We're going to get into some more news stories, you guys. I want you again to be encouraged to start ordering your vote by mail. She's going to give us her reaction to this very engaging candidate forum that we just had on Monday. We had the people who were running for Frederica Wilson's, we can't call it her seat much longer, but she's now retiring.
Yes.
And we had, did you notice it was all men?
All men.
I noticed that. 7 men on the stage. It was very, very interesting to hear the perspectives, and I love seeing them lined up. It's easy to kind of like compare and contrast when you hear them next to each other. I'm going to get a reaction. I also want to talk about this case, guys. Have you been hearing, I guess it is a criminal case because they've been arrested. Hazing in Miami has made national news. Have you heard about it? I'm going to play a little clip when we come back on the other side of the break. I'm really close to this break, but 3 men, adults, have been accused and arrested, in fact, for hazing 2 individuals, allegedly causing bodily harm to the point where one of the young men had near kidney failure and had to have surgery, all to belong to a certain fraternity. Now, I have the tea. I have a friend who knows a friend who knows a friend. You know, I got some connections in these streets that we're talking about. I'm like, how could they be sanctioned? And she was telling me they weren't sanctioned by the alleged connected fraternity. They are supposed Kappa Alpha Psi members, but I was like, she's like, no, they not. So I'm gonna give you the tea that I heard allegedly. Well, anyway, we got to take a quick break. The time is now 1:29 in the city right here. Keep it locked on Voice of the Caribbean, the Suzette Speak Show. More right after this.
Caribbean, better sounding radio.
Okay.
How you feel?
I feel pretty good. I stumbled a bit, but
You didn't stumble.
we're back.
Look at me. I'm ready. They're telling me, giving me notes. Read the announcements. What announcements? What are you talking about? Okay.
You did that
But
so
normally,
seamlessly.
I have normally, if I was thinking, I'd come and I check the table.
Yeah.
I look first. But this was a read. This one. This. Someone don't mention this. They did not pay.
This
Ma'am.
Just throwing it in there.
But I would, because I think people want to know. Long Hill did not pay for the pork.
Oh, hey.
I'm like, ma'am.
That's funny.
There we go. But get the message.
You got to know.
Me not mention them. Me not mention. No, I'm not going to talk about Bujo.
We're the only exclusive radio station.
Yes, ma'am. I got you. All right. Yay. We're going to do it. So, do you have any space on your phone?
Yes.
So, can you take maybe 60-second or less little bites myself, and you hand me the phone, I'm gonna take you, and then we can make a reel or something after.
Got it, yes.
Okay, so mine, I'm not gonna take off because this is always complicated when I start stopping the YouTube. Shout out to everybody, hit the like button. Thank you for listening. So actually, let me turn that down because I always get copyright. Any questions for me?
No
How you
questions.
feel?
I
You
feel pretty
alright?
good. I'm just like scared of when to chime in, when to not, because I don't want to like open
talk. We'll make the eye contact. If I
Okay,
do
and
this,
then-
keep going. You're doing great. Keep going. If I tell you speak louder, speak softer. And I can also control your mic here,
Okay, perfect.
the volume of how you sound. You sound good though.
What is
Everything
it?
is sounding perfect.
My mom
I
just
just
texted me.
Yeah, she's listening. Yay, mommy.
Yes.
No, that's gravy. I want to just play this Nancy Wills clip of the sea tow call. So I want to play also Channel 10 Secret Service story to set up that story, and then we'll save the last 15 minutes. So we have about a minute.
Alright.
Well, you get all kind of reminders. Do this right now.
Yeah.
Now they want to put this up so it's showing on our video. So anytime you feel it, if I'm talking, just give me 60-second or 30-second start and stop at the beginning and end of a thought, and then we'll put it together
Okay, perfect.
and maybe get some. Feel free also to stand and do it. So if you want to go over here, if you want to go over there, during especially my intro, you can stand now.
Yeah.
You can stand now, and then when I introduce you, come back and sit. Put on your headphones, so you can do a little now. This I appreciate you. I'm sorry if I'm being like blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, no, you're
but
so
in
good.
between it's not like a lot of time to talk. We got about 30 seconds from here, so I can actually I can do. Can you see me well? Does it look good? Come a little bit this way.
Yeah, because I also want to
Ready?
get that in the
Ready?
background
Go ahead.
too.
Do some. Ready? Hey everybody, it's the Suzette Speak Show right here on Voice of the Caribbean Radio. So excited that you're joining us. Get ready for our Hot Topic show starting now. So that's what we're
Yeah, that was
saying. So
perfect,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Little clips.
Yeah, so we can move this. Here we go. Take a seat.
Voice of the Caribbean. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and YouTube.
Welcome back. It's the Suzette Speak Show. The time in the city is now 1:33. I am excited. My special guest in the studio, our brand new summer intern, she will be with me for the month of August. Welcome back, Lexi. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling amazing, and I'm happy to be here with Suzette.
Hey,
Yes.
she's jumping right in like a pro. I said, listen, she don't look nervous at all. We're here having a good time discussing hot topics. I want to get into this next story because it bothered me so very much. If you're new here, the Suzette Speak Show brings you community news. We like to let you know what's happening in the community. At the very end, I'll tell you again about some events that are coming up, but we like to tell you also about stories that impact us here in South Florida, but also nationally and internationally. So if you want to stay informed, I know everybody's busy, you're working, you got the family, you got jobs, you got everything going on in your life. We don't want you to feel like you can't pay attention though. So we do try to break down the news and the most important stories and give you our opinion, give us some time to discuss it, right? Sometimes we see headlines, but we don't really digest them. So we want to break them down a little bit more. That's what I do. I do hot topics, news you can use, and of course, social media trends throughout my show. So the biggest story right now coming out of Miami really is this fraternity hazing story. Now, everybody in this story is innocent until proven guilty, and I will say the opinions expressed here on the Suzette Speak Show are that of the host, our guests, and our callers. If you want to call in, 850-446-0562 gets you in touch if you have any opinion on any of the hot topics that we're talking about today. But anyway, the hazing story. Want to hear about this? The hazing story. This one, it hurt my spirit because grown men, the eldest is 29 years of age, and a grown man, 29, was beating up, I think one was a law school student. And why don't you give us the facts, Miss Lexi? What did you hear or what have you learned about this story?
So what I've learned about this story thus far is that these men were allegedly members of the fraternity who were participating in activities that ultimately led to a student's, injury. he suffered kidney failure post the incidents, the alleged incidents. And it's become a big thing on social media. People are questioning whether or not this is a part of hazing, whether or not this is something these teens did on their own. It's all hearsay, it's all question, it's all alleged. So we're just trying to get to the bottom of this and kind of see where this case is going.
Yeah, this case has really stunned a lot of people. What I really took away from it is that 3 men, including, this is the key, a United States Secret Service member. This is what I'm saying. People are talking about hazing and Secret Service member being among the people charged with felonies following a brutal April 2026 fraternity hazing incident that happened allegedly at 2 different locations in Miami-Dade County that left 2 victims hospitalized with near fatal injuries. Now, do you guys have fraternities at your school?
At my school, personally, I do attend a small liberal arts college, so our sororities and fraternities are more at the club level. It's less like a chapter or like a specific. It's very much a more surface level, I'd say.
So not really historically black.
No
D9,
no, none of that.
Girl, you're missing out.
Unfortunately, I was about to say, unfortunately, but yeah, I happen to be actually a part of a sorority at my school on like the club level.
Okay.
And it's been an experience, but nothing ever this major has occurred at my school personally.
So how would you say you felt when you saw this story? What was your reaction, knowing that sometimes these fraternities and sororities mean so much, or becoming a member means so much to people? What was your initial reaction when you first heard about this story?
I mean, my initial reaction was, I guess, a lot of hurt. I don't think it should come to someone being injured or having a near-death experience just to be a part of this organization. I think organizations like this are more, should be more focused on service, should be more focused on community, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, rather than, I guess, anything else. Anything that would lead to any injury, any death, is my opinion on that.
Well said. I'm so excited that Miss Lexi is here on the Voice of the Caribbean with me on the Suzette Speak Show. The time is now 1:37. The Suzette Speak Show comes to you live every Thursday. And today, my favorite Friday. This is my favorite time of the week because our DJs go in, y'all. If you're looking for an upbeat, really, really, what should I say, entertaining. Listen, our DJs don't just play music, they entertain. And it is a part of our culture here. Fire Fridays, we keep you going throughout the day. Our drive time is the best music. And when it comes on nighttime, trust me, the vibes is up. I'm so grateful that Miss Lexi is here with me in the studio. We're discussing the hot topics of the day. And one of the major stories has been this hazing incident that allegedly took place in April of 2026, where 3 grown men are being accused and have been arrested for allegedly brutally attacking 2 men who wanted to become a part of a fraternity. What are your thoughts in our listening audience? You can give us a call at 850-446-0562, 850-446-0562, right here on the Suzette Speak Show. We're gonna talk a little bit more. Sorry, I took my mic off. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this story. I'm gonna play a clip from Local 10 News. Local 10 News ran a short story about this. Again, it has made waves across the country, right here in Miami, because I think one of the grown men who was beating up on these students, and I think one was a community member, maybe a member of, I think, the fire rescue here in Miami, but the other was a registered law student at a university here in Miami, and a Secret Service agent, a 29-year-old Secret Service agent, is among the men who have been charged in connection with a fraternity hazing investigation involving a University of Miami graduate student in Miami-Dade County. This is the report. I'll play a quick clip of it from Local 10 News.
Prosecutors say the victims were just looking to be part of a brotherhood. Instead, they got a brutal beating. Local 10's Roy Ramos is outside the jail in West Miami-Dade with the disturbing details.
The alleged victims in this case beaten with a cane and a paddle, and beaten so severely they both had to be hospitalized. Investigators able to connect the 3 suspects to this hazing incident through text messages and surveillance video.
So you were arrested pursuant to an arrest warrant. It's charged.
Federal Secret Service agent 29-year-old Marquez Pender faced a Miami-Dade County judge Monday after state prosecutors said he was one of 3 suspects who took part in fraternity hazing. Hazing, investigators said, that included beatings where 2 pledges were injured so badly they had to be hospitalized. Pinder, we've learned, is an agent based out of the Secret Service's Miami field office.
Attempted manslaughter, aggravated battery, and hazing.
Facing the same charges, 26-year-old Jared James and 29-year-old Elijah Dias. Investigators say their alleged hazing stretched across 4 days, beginning back on April 1st in an apartment in Sweetwater, before then moving to a home in Southwest Miami-Dade. In the arrest reports we obtained, it states the two alleged victims were pledging to the Kappa Alpha Psi alumni chapter.
No contact with the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
One victim is a graduate student in the University of Miami's law program, while the other is an employee with Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. Detectives said the two were repeatedly beaten with canes and paddles as punishment for failing to answer questions correctly about the fraternity. They say the beatings were so severe, one of the alleged victims began to suffer from vomiting, fevers, and immense pain to his buttocks, suffered kidney failure, and had to undergo surgery.
Okay, so there's probable cause for the charge.
State Attorney Catherine Fernandez-Rundle releasing a statement that read in part, fraternity hazing might be seen as a tradition creating a sense of belonging and brotherhood. This case, with the victims requiring hospitalization,
That was a news report brought to you by Local 10. We're just using it here, WPLG, for fair use purposes to give you an idea of how bad it was. We're thinking about those two young men. My opinion on this, Lex, is that, if you're a grown man beating on another man, you're 29 years old. One of these young men in this alleged hazing incident that took place in April 2026 here in Miami-Dade County was a law student. And I just think about how hard it had to have been for that particular alleged perpetrator, who is a member of the Secret Service, to become a Secret Service agent. And to think that you have risked all of that to perpetrate this alleged brutality on another human being who wanted to just join a fraternity and become a part of a brotherhood is really, really sad to me. And I really am empathetic with the victims in this case. I do believe, justice should be served on those three individuals if it is proven in the court of law that they did commit these crimes. It is a heinous act, to say the least. So I'm going to wait and see as more evidence comes out in this case, but it is heartbreaking. And I know to the victims and to the victims' families, we offer, our prayers and our thoughts. But of course, we have to bring this type of story to the community so that we can create awareness so it doesn't happen again. So again, on the Suzette Speaks Show, I appreciate you listening. This is Suzette Speaks. Your time is now 1:43. We're doing it really quick and fast. Listen, we only have about 15 more minutes. This is how it goes. That 1 hour goes by really fast. I want to thank you guys for listening. If you're new here, I'm Suzette Speaks. I'm an attorney by training, but I love our community. I would call myself a community advocate. I like to listen to what's happening in and around our community, making sure you know what's happening. And one of the things we wanted to do is tell you more about the events we have coming up. But before we do that, I wanted to get our new intern, Miss Lexi. We're already on the Lex.
Yeah.
I can get very familiar. That's just how I am, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all know how it is. I never met a stranger. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit more. We're going to shift from this hazing incident. Again, we're going to stay on top of this news story. And as the charges and the trial progress, we'll see what happens. But again, we wanted to make sure not to condone this type of behavior, right? If you or someone are being abused, make sure you are telling them it's not okay. Even in these type of so-called rituals, they did not seem to be sanctioned. That was the tea I got, that this wasn't a person or persons really with permission from the fraternity, and in this case, allegedly, it's Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, that they are not members, that they actually, this is what now the tea that I heard allegedly, that they don't have any real paid memberships or were not actually pledged. They were pledged allegedly on a line that never crossed. And there are people that from the streets, as is the words I'm hearing allegedly, but that know that these what they call renegades. They are called renegade lines, people who didn't cross over into the fraternity but went through all the hazing rituals. And that can breed discontent, is what my friend was describing. And they were like, this is a renegade line, like people who didn't go through but know all of the the history and the background, because they went through the whole process, perpetrating the process on someone else, even though they weren't successful, for whatever reason the line was dropped, and so they never got to become an official member. That's what I hear. That's all alleged, but that's what I'm hearing in these streets. So anyway, we're gonna come back to that story as it unfolds. I was gonna tell you I keep saying Tuesday. Tuesday. Goodness, I come here Thursdays and Fridays. What's up with Tuesdays? My special day. No, maybe I'm thinking election day. It will be Tuesday, August 18th. But I'm talking about next week, Thursday. I want to dedicate the show to TPS. I'm going to see if I can get our illustrious, my colleague, Miss Opal Lee, to come through and talk about what's going on with our Haitian families, our Haitian brothers and sisters. Not only Haitians, because we have several other nationalities who have been granted TPS, and it has expired this week. I don't want y'all to think I'm ignoring that. I didn't talk about it yesterday, and it went into effect. And I want to really, really say that our hearts and our minds and our solidarity are within the communities of TPS holders. We know Miami. I was just talking to my cousin who works in the hospitality industry. She has a weekend job where she does a front desk at one of the hotels on the beach. And she's like, Sue, I will have to work all weekend, no breaks, no days off starting today or starting yesterday, because a lot of her colleagues who do front desk work are TPS holders and cannot legitimately, under the expiration now, they are moving them from legal status to now they're out of status, and so they can't go to work, and then there are employers that are afraid to pay them. So you have whole industries now. I was thinking about all the TPS holders who are nurses in Miami. We have the largest concentration of Haitian Americans here in South Florida, of course. The nurses at Jackson, the people who are in part of the transportation sector, the home health care CNA sector. I wasn't even thinking about hospitality, but I know obviously in the hospitality, but front desk workers and people throughout our community have been working and been contributing to society. Again, TPS is a huge issue. I'm going to give a whole show to it next week. Make sure you are tuned in. I'm going to bring in special guest, Miss Opal Lee, immigration attorney extraordinaire and commentator, who is going to tell us what's the latest when it comes to TPS. We know that our Haitian brothers and sisters have been impacted just immensely about this because of this change in policy. So we want to make sure we educate you both from a legal standpoint as you prepare yourselves and your families for this huge change. It's going to be huge for South Florida. South Florida has one of the most robust population of Haitians, Haitian immigrants, TPS holders, and they hold everyday jobs that impact our community. So we can't ignore this. I'm hoping to get our professional and resident commentator when it comes to immigration issues on the Suzette Speak Show next week to have this discussion even more. So as we get ready to talk about elections, let's pivot into what happened on Monday, Miss Lexi. You were there. Give us your initial thoughts. We were both at, and I had the pleasure and distinct honor of moderating a congressional and state senate political forum, right? We have a few weeks now, not even. We're getting into the 3-week countdown to voting day. Voting has already begun. So make sure you order your vote by mail ballot on your Supervisor of Elections website. So what did you think about the forum? Start. Which one do you want to start with, a certain race, or how do you want to discuss it? Because we saw state senate candidates for State Senate District 34, including Ms. Christine Jules Sanon, as well as current state representative Ashley Gant. We also heard from the folks running for District 24. That was the big district. That was is the fight for Frederica Wilson's former, I keep saying her seat. It's not her seat no more. Former seat. And again, we said it was all men lined up for this seat, including Mr. Marshall Davis, a community activist, attorney Roderick Vereen, Miami-Dade County Commissioner Oliver Gilbert, outgoing state senator Chevron Jones. We have attorney as well, Kendrick Meek Jr., as well as Jean Monestime, former, I think, mayor of North Miami, as well as Dr. Rudy Moise. We had a robust panel of all men who were fighting for to represent District 24, which is Frederica Wilson's seat, going all the way from Hollywood and South Broward, Hollywood, Hollandale Beach, all the way down south to Biscayne. That district is 37% African American, 35% Hispanic, 17% Anglo, and then the rest other, and is a very diverse district representing a very critical swath of both Broward and Miami-Dade County. So as we get into the discussion, Lexi, tell us your opinion and your initial reaction to this political forum.
Okay, wonderful. So I was in attendance at Monday's, political forum. Honestly, first initial thoughts, we spoke a little bit about this off air, but this was a lineup of men. There were no women on this panel, and as
She's speaking about District 24.
District 24, yes.
Being that it was held by
A
Frederica
woman,
Wilson,
yes.
and
Being
it's all men. Yes, that's a great observation.
Being that it was held by a woman and is now being handed off to this line of men, I mean, all of which who, are sufficiently qualified. I mean, they do have backgrounds in politics, but, for my opinion, particularly, I really enjoyed seeing younger candidates like Kendrick Meeks. This is all opinion, but I really do think he will be bringing a fresh perspective. I mean, I go to school in New York, and I saw the mayoral race of Mamdani, and I think when it comes to politics and when it comes to youth in politics, we, Gen Z, we're a very passionate generation, and we want change, and we want it now. And I think seeing a lot of younger politicians come up and stand on their platform and say these things boldly with less care about who's gonna fund them and who's going to be on their side when they get into politics. I think we need more people who are willing to call out the wrongs in our society, and that was a wonderful thing to see on this panel.
Yeah, listen, I'm here with my new intern, Miss Lexi in the building, and our intern
Lexi
here
in the building
at Voice of the Caribbean Radio. She's giving us her opinion on what happened on Monday. We had an amazing forum for elected officials or people who want to become elected officials.
Yes.
And it was brought to you by the Democratic Black Caucus of Broward County and the Democratic Black Caucus of Miami-Dade County. And she's talking about the Congressional District 24 debate that we had Monday, giving us her reaction and what she thought about the candidates. And it was a great observation. Yeah, all men sitting up there, and we were kind of worried, like, wait, I was.
We were.
Wait a minute now, where's the women?
Where are the women?
It was very obvious. I'm sorry, I got a little frog in my throat. So who did you think maybe stood out in the Congressional District 24 race? That is the outgoing seat for Frederica Wilson. Who do you think stood out most during this political forum?
For me in particular, and this is my opinion, I think that Kendrick Meeks really stood out to me on this panel. I knew about his political platform prior. I knew that he was an attorney. I know that his both grandmother and father have participated in politics as well. And I was kind of iffy. I watched a few interviews from him, and I never really dived into his stances, his policy. So to see him speak for the first time, I was pleasantly surprised. I loved what he had to say about issues on international policy. I really enjoyed what he had to say about TPS. I think somebody had brought up the question also of the Cuban embargo, and he very proudly, very confidently said that this is something that we want to refer to our Cuban brothers and sisters. He is in his community, and ever since that panel, I've been following him on Instagram. I've been looking more into his policy, and I really do enjoy having this fresh young face in politics, and I feel like he's a representative of the individuals who are starting to care, the generation, Gen Z, younger people in politics. So I think he was a great reflection of that. But I also think Chevron Jones did a very good job articulating his stances, and those two were my highlights. And I want to ask you, Suzette, how are you feeling? What were you thinking?
Miss Lexi doing her homework, checking out what was going on. I felt the same way. I did. This was my first time seeing Kendrick Meek Jr., right? So this is not Kendrick Meek that we've all known.
Yes.
Carrie Meek was the first one that had this access seat, and I just got to go through it. We only have about 5 minutes, but I got to go through some of that history real quick. We have to understand, just 30 years ago, seems like a long time, but it's not that long compared to the history of the United States. There were not that many African Americans in Congress, and it was by design that these, what we call Black access seats, were drawn when we redistricted by Democrats to give more access to Black folks to become elected. That's why we know names like Carrie Meek. That's why we know names like Frederica Wilson. That's why we know names like, rest in peace, Alcee Hastings, because it wasn't by accident, it was by design. So here we are now, District 24 is getting turned over from Frederica Wilson, who is retiring. And I think it will be in good hands, notwithstanding who is going to be elected. Now, I did think that there were people who I thought seemed less prepared than I would have wanted them to be. I have a lot of esteem, for example, for community activist Mr. Marshall Davis, but I didn't like how he answered. Taking off my neutral moderator hat and putting on, my concerned citizen hat. Some of the questions, I felt like there were some vague responses.
Yeah, one-liners.
I was like, I want peace. Are you going to fund Israel? Are you going to fund Israel?
Yeah, answer the real questions.
No,
we want to get to the nitty-gritty. That's what you're here for.
Yeah, but that's like, you want peace. Does that mean you support Israel? Like, what is happening?
Be clear.
So, yeah, I thought some of the vagary was a little bit off-putting on that end. I think Mr. Who impressed me, Mr. Roderick Vereen had a very, especially when it comes to criminal justice, he has a background as an attorney, of course.
Yes.
So when it comes to criminal justice, I think he was the most prepared. I think the standouts and Mr. Meek Jr. did stand out to me. I don't know if he reflects that community fully when I say that, and I don't mean it in any kind of pejorative way. I mean, touch, feel, smell, look, the vibe. He seemed a little DC polished.
Yeah.
And that is not a bad thing. I want my brother to elevate and become DC bound, but I don't know if he's in touch enough with the community. And that may sound odd for some people who weren't there who couldn't see.
Yeah.
But I think he came across a little bit too stuffy.
Yes.
And he could benefit from being a little bit more down to earth because I think he has it in him.
Yes. He's from Liberty City.
But it's a little bit like you're not giving a speech to Capitol Hill yet.
Exactly. Yes, so you're almost there.
You have to relate to people a little bit more. I think with practice he could be a little bit more relatable.
Yeah.
But I think his stance on things I thought were commendable. I think the two standouts in the minute I have left, Mr. Oliver Gilbert and Mr. Chevron Jones clearly are the standout head to head, at least in that audience that we had on Monday. They brought out the most supporters, the most what should I say, vocal is a nice way to
say vocal is one way to say it.
Vocal supporters came with them. But I don't know, there were points that they make, Mr. Oliver Gilbert, that I wasn't quite, at least he was honest when it came to like, no, I'm not going to stop funding Israel because they're our only ally,
strategic ally,
and I'm not going, it sounds good, but I'm not going to do it. Like, he was very clear whether I like the transparency at least. And what else did Chevron Jones talk about? Yeah, I think I wanted to ask, there are two questions I didn't get to ask that were on my plate, and I was like, I should have asked about policing and qualified immunity on the federal level. Will you protect or will you work against police officers having qualified immunity if you were elected to Capitol Hill? And I thought about that, but also when it came to what Mr. Chevron Jones' record is while he served in the state House of Rep and the state Senate, I wish I had more time to flesh that out.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to talk about, well, what did you do in the job you currently have? I think Oliver Gilbert did a better job of describing what he did.
Miami Guard. Yes,
and
he
what
definitely
he said he did. But I think Chevron Jones spoke more in a lofty way to the issues. But I would more like to hear more about his track record, because I've heard people are asking, did he actually bring home money to the district? No, yes. No, I want him to answer those. So perhaps, Ms. Lexi, we have to do some planning. We only have a minute left. As we get ready for August, I actually want her to help me focus on some of these upcoming elections and getting some of the elected officials into our show, calling in, whether they come in person, but maybe more likely to call in, talk to you, the people. I know you need to hear who's running. And an informed voter is an empowered voter. I'm going to give you the last thoughts, Lexi, before we close out. What would you like to tell people about this election season? 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds, guys. My youth, I'm speaking specifically to you, my Gen Z, my millennials. Please, 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 please get out there and vote. Be the change you want to see. It's only going to happen if you're out there at the polls, with your ballots. Please, 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 please. That is what I want to highlight for this upcoming election. I'm voting for the congressional race, District 24. That is my district. Okay. And so please, guys, please get out there and vote.
Absolutely. We'll leave it there. We'll talk more about the Buju Banton Too Bad album release August 8th. Mark your calendars, 3 p.m. free event. Go on Eventbrite. Buju Banton Too Bad album signing brought to you exclusively by Voice of the Caribbean. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week.
Bye-bye.
OIF HD2 Miami 101.5 HD2
Oh my gosh.
101.5 FM
I feel pretty
HD2
good.
Miami
I feel
simulcasting on
So,
96.9
yes, let me say
FM.
goodbye to you guys. Thanks for watching. They gotta
It was
end.
nerve-wracking, but... And I
No,
think,
it feels good.
yeah.
Miss Lee